The great hall of the Galactic Council buzzed with whispers. Hundreds of alien leaders from across the stars sat in curved rows that rose high into the dome-shaped room. Blue light glowed from the walls, making the many different kinds of aliens look strange and ghostly. Commander Zex Troll walked to the center of the hall with his head held high. His green scales shimmered under the lights. 4 golden eyes blinked slowly as he looked around at the council members. 2 of his 4 arms rested on the weapons at his sides. The other 2 arms he held behind his back. "Honorable Council," Zex Troll said, his voice deep and confident. "I stand before you today to inform you of the Corvagian Empire's next conquest." He pressed a button on his wrist device, and a hologram appeared above him, a blue and green planet with swirling white clouds. "This primitive world is called Earth," he continued. "It sits at the edge of the Orion Arm. Its people have only visited their own moon. They fight among themselves constantly. They will make excellent slaves for our minds." The room grew quiet. Then an old voice broke the silence. "You may speak, Counselor Verity," said the council leader. A small, ancient alien with pale blue skin and large silver eyes stood slowly. Verity of the Aronians was one of the oldest members of the council. When she spoke, others listened. "Commander Zex Troll," she said, her voice gentle but clear, "you chose to invade Earth." Zex Troll laughed. "Yes, of course. Is there a problem? They are primitive. They have no space fleet. Their weapons are simple. Their armies are divided." Verity's silver eyes widened. Several council members gasped. Some stood up from their seats. "I must strongly advise against this action," Verity said. "Earth is not what it seems." "The decision is made," Zex Troll snapped. "The first wave of our ships leaves tomorrow. We do not need the Council's permission to expand our empire." The council leader banged his staff on the floor. "Commander, please reconsider. There are many other worlds." "Worlds that you have already claimed," Zex Troll cut in. "The Earth humans will fall easily. I will return in one cycle to report our success." With that, he turned and marched out of the hall, ignoring the worried looks and whispers that followed him. Back on his ship, Zex Troll looked at the planet Earth on his screen. "Prepare the invasion fleet," he ordered his officers. "We attack at dawn." "Yes, Commander," they replied, hurrying to obey. In her private chamber after the meeting, Verity stood at her window, looking at the stars. "Those poor Corvagians," she whispered to herself. "They have no idea what they're about to face." Across the galaxy, on the blue planet called Earth, humans went about their daily lives, unaware that their world was about to change forever. The Corvagian invasion ships burst through Earth's atmosphere like shooting stars. Their metal shells glowed red-hot as they descended toward the major cities. Commander Zex Troll watched from his command ship, safely hiding behind Earth's moon. "Begin the attack," he ordered. "Target their largest cities first." On Earth, people pointed at the sky. News channels showed the alien ships. Governments around the world called emergency meetings. But something strange happened. There was no panic in the streets. In Washington, D.C., General Maria Chen rushed into the Pentagon's war room. Screens showed the alien ships spreading across the globe. "Activate Protocol Omega," she ordered. "This is not a drill." A young officer looked up in surprise. "Protocol Omega, the alien invasion response plan. That's real." General Chen nodded. "We've been preparing for this day for decades. Now get me the president on the line." Within hours, militaries around the world began working together. In Russia, missile silos opened. In China, experimental electromagnetic weapons powered up. In India, computer experts began attacking the aliens' communication systems. The first Corvagian ship landed in New York's Central Park. Soldiers with 4 arms and green scales marched out, weapons ready. They expected humans to run screaming. Instead, they found the park empty. From buildings all around, snipers opened fire. From underground tunnels, special forces emerged. The aliens had better weapons, but the humans knew their city. They used the buildings, the streets, and even the trees as weapons. Similar scenes played out across the globe. Humans didn't fight like the other species the Corvagians had conquered. They didn't follow the rules of war that other planets used. They fought dirty. They set traps. They used their knowledge of Earth's environment against the invaders. On his ship, Zextral received bad news after bad news. "Sir, we've lost contact with the London team. The Beijing force is under heavy attack. Our ships in Moscow have been shot down." Zextral slammed his fist on his control panel. "How is this possible? They're primitive. They shouldn't have weapons that can hurt our ships." His second-in-command looked nervous. "Sir, they're using nuclear weapons against our landed forces, and they've somehow adapted their electromagnetic technology to disable our shields." Nuclear weapons? On their own planet? Zextral couldn't believe it. They would poison their own land just to stop us. "It appears so, sir. And there's something else." The officer hesitated. "What?" "They seem to know our tactics. It's like they've been preparing for this specific invasion for years." Zextral stared at the screen showing Earth. The blue planet didn't look so harmless anymore. "Pull back the remaining ships," he ordered. "We need to regroup." As the surviving Corvagian ships retreated, humans around the world celebrated their first victory. But military leaders knew this was just the beginning. In her private chamber on the Galactic Council station, Verity received the news of the Corvagians' defeat. She sighed sadly. "I tried to warn them," she whispered. "Humans have been imagining alien invasions for centuries. In their minds, they've already fought this war 1,000 times." The emergency meeting of the Galactic Council began with shouts and arguments. The news of the Corvagian defeat had spread quickly. Some council members laughed at Zextral's failure. Others worried about what would happen next. Zextral stood in the center of the hall, his green scales now dull with shame. But his 4 golden eyes still burned with anger and pride. "This was only the first attack," he insisted. "We were testing their defenses. Now we know what to expect. My second wave will crush them completely." The council leader banged his staff for quiet. "Commander Zextral, we strongly advise against another attack on Earth. The humans have proven themselves more dangerous than you expected." "They were lucky," Zextral said. "Nothing more." Verity rose slowly from her seat. The old Aronian's silver eyes looked tired. "It was not luck," she said. "I have studied Earth for many years. Please, Commander, listen to what I have learned before you send more of your people to die." The hall grew quiet. Even Zextral turned to listen. Verity touched a device on her wrist, and images appeared in the air around her, pictures of Earth's many different environments. "Humans are what we call Death Worlders," she explained. "Their planet tried to kill them at every step of their evolution. Look at these places where they live." The images showed frozen Arctic wastelands, burning deserts, dense jungles, and high mountains. "Most species in our galaxy evolved on gentle worlds with stable climates," Verity continued. "But humans adapted to survive in all these extreme places. Their bodies can handle huge changes in temperature. They can go days without water, weeks without food. They can break bones and keep fighting." New images appeared, humans at war with each other. "And they have been fighting among themselves for their entire history," Verity said sadly. "They have perfected the art of killing. They have weapons designed to destroy their entire planet many times over. And they are willing to use them." Zextral crossed his lower arms. "My warriors are strong. Our technology is advanced. We will overwhelm them with numbers." Verity shook her head. "There is something else you do not understand about humans, something that makes them different from any other species we have encountered." "And what is that?" Zextral asked with a sneer. "Hope," Verity said simply. "When other species face impossible odds, they surrender to save themselves. Humans do not. They fight harder. They become more creative. They would rather die fighting than live as slaves." Murmurs spread through the council chamber. Many members nodded in agreement. I have made my decision, Zextrol announced. The second wave leaves tomorrow. It will be 10 times larger than the first. The humans will fall. As he marched out of the hall, Verity called after him, Commander, please reconsider. But Zextrol was already gone, his mind set on revenge. May the stars help them both, the council leader whispered. The second wave of Corvagian ships entered Earth's atmosphere 3 days after the first attack. This time, there were hundreds of ships instead of dozens. Commander Zextrol watched from his command vessel, sure of victory. They cannot possibly stand against this many ships, he told his officers. Today, Earth falls. But Earth was ready. In the short time between attacks, humans had been busy. In a secret laboratory beneath the Rocky Mountains, Dr. Samira Khan held up a strange metal piece. It had come from a crashed alien ship. We figured it out, she told General Chen. Their shields operate on a frequency we can disrupt, and we've adapted their own weapons to work with our systems. General Chen smiled. How long until we can equip our forces? We already have, Dr. Khan replied. Teams around the world are installing the upgrades now. When the Corvagian ships attacked major cities again, they faced weapons they recognized, their own. Human fighter jets fired energy beams that cut through alien shields. Ground forces used captured alien rifles. In Moscow, a team of hackers led by Dmitry Volkov worked day and night in an underground bunker. Their fingers flew over keyboards as they broke into the alien communication network. I'm in, Dmitry shouted, his screen filled with strange symbols. Their battle network is now open to us. Across the world, Corvagian ships suddenly lost contact with each other. Some fired on their own allies by mistake. Others found themselves flying in circles, their navigation systems hacked. But the most important battle happened in a small town in Brazil. Captain Maya Reyes and her Special Forces team tracked a Corvagian scout ship that had landed in the rainforest. Remember, we need it intact, Captain Reyes told her team as they moved through the dense jungle. This is our chance to learn how their ships work. After a fierce fight, they captured the ship and its 3-person crew alive. Within hours, the alien vessel was hidden in an underground base, and Earth's best pilots and engineers were studying it. Captain Rice watched as they figured out the ship's controls. How long will it take to learn to fly this thing? She asked. A pilot named Jackson smiled as he pressed buttons on the alien control panel. I think I'm already getting the hang of it, Captain. Engineers discovered something even more valuable. The ship had detailed maps of Corvagian space and a working faster-than-light drive. Captain Rice studied the star maps. If we can fly this ship, we can take the fight to them, she said. They attacked our home. Now we'll show them that was a mistake. On his command ship, Zextrol received report after report of failures and defeats. His face turned dark with rage. How are they doing this? He shouted. How have they adapted so quickly? His communication officer looked up with fear in her eyes. Sir, we've lost contact with Scout Ship 7. It was last reported in a region called South America. Zextrol didn't know it yet, but the war was about to change in ways he could never have imagined. Captain Maya Rice stood on the bridge of the stolen Corvagian scout ship, now renamed Revenge. Around her, the small crew of humans worked at alien control panels. After 2 weeks of training, they could now fly the ship reasonably well. Status report, Captain Rice ordered. All systems working, Captain, replied Jackson, the pilot. The faster-than-light drive is charged and ready. Weapons are online, added Torres, the weapons specialist. We have enough energy for 10 full attacks. Reyes nodded. Then it's time. Take us to the first target. The ship vanished from Earth's orbit in a flash of blue light. When it reappeared, a huge space station floated before them. This was a Corvagian supply depot on the edge of their empire. They're hailing us, said Chen, the communications officer. They think we're one of their scout ships returning from Earth. Send the response code we found in their database, Reyes ordered. Let's get close before they realize who we really are. The plan worked perfectly. The humans guided their ship into the depot's docking bay. Once inside, they planted explosive devices throughout the station. By the time the Corvagians realized something was wrong, the humans were already leaving. The supply depot exploded behind them as they jumped to their next target. Over the next week, the human crew struck 5 more Corvagian targets. They destroyed supply lines, communication relays, and even a small military outpost. Each time, they gathered more information about the Corvagian Empire. Meanwhile, back on Earth, the United Human Forces prepared for what they believed would be a third, even larger invasion. Factories around the world worked day and night, building weapons with the new alien technology. Satellites were upgraded with Corvagian shields. Underground bunkers were expanded to protect more civilians. In the Great Hall of the Galactic Council, an emergency session was called. Verity stood before the gathered representatives, her face grave. "The situation has escalated beyond our worst fears," she said. "Humans have captured Corvagian technology and are now conducting raids deep in Corvagian space." Murmurs of shock spread through the chamber. "We must intervene," said the council leader. "Not to protect Earth. They seem capable of defending themselves, but to prevent this conflict from spreading across the galaxy." Verity nodded. "I have tried to contact Commander Zextrol, but he refuses to listen." She activated a recording of her last conversation with the Corvagian commander. "You don't understand," Verity's voice said in the recording. "Humans don't just defend, they retaliate. And they never, ever forget an enemy." Zextrol's angry voice replied, "Let them come. My homeworld is well defended. No primitive species could possibly threaten us there." Verity turned off the recording. He doesn't understand what he's facing. Humans have a saying, "Necessity is the mother of invention." When pushed, they create solutions no one else would imagine. The council voted to send a diplomatic mission to Earth immediately. But as the session ended, Verity looked out at the stars with worried eyes. "I fear we may already be too late," she whispered. Councillor Thran of the Mendari stood on the bridge of the diplomatic vessel Peaceful Intent. He was tall and thin with light purple skin and 6 long fingers on each hand. As the ship approached Earth, he felt nervous. The Galactic Council had chosen him to lead this important mission because the Mendari were known for their peaceful nature. "We are being scanned by Earth defenses," reported his pilot. "They have weapons locked on us. Broadcast our peaceful intentions on all frequencies," Thran ordered. "Tell them we come from the Galactic Council, not the Corvagian Empire." After tense minutes of waiting, a human voice responded. "Galactic Council vessel, you are cleared to land at the United Nations headquarters in New York. Any aggressive move will result in immediate destruction." Thran sighed with relief. At least they would listen. The diplomatic ship landed in a large open area surrounded by military vehicles and armed soldiers. When Thran and his team of 5 other alien counselors stepped out, they were met by a group of serious-looking humans in formal clothes. "I am Secretary General Kamau of the United Earth Defense Council," said a tall woman with dark skin. "Welcome to Earth, though I wish our first official contact had come under better circumstances." Thran bowed slightly. "I am Councillor Thran of the Galactic Council. We deeply regret the Corvagian attack on your world and wish to establish peaceful relations." To his surprise, the humans had already developed translation technology from captured Corvagian devices. They could understand him perfectly. This technology would normally take years to develop, but humans had done it in weeks. Inside a large meeting room, human leaders from around the world gathered to hear the aliens. Thran explained how the Galactic Council worked, about the many peaceful species in the galaxy, and how the Corvagian Empire was just one aggressive power among many peaceful civilizations. "We did try to warn Commander Zextrol against attacking Earth," Thran explained, "but the Council has limited authority over independent empires. We cannot force them to stop." The human representatives exchanged knowing glances. Secretary General Kamau leaned forward. "We understand your position, counselor, she said, but we have one non-negotiable demand. The Corvagian Empire must be held accountable for the unprovoked attack on Earth. Thousands of our people died. Cities were damaged. We cannot let this pass. What exactly are you asking for? Thran asked, feeling uneasy. Justice, said Kama simply. If the council cannot provide it, then we will handle it ourselves. She pressed a button, and a screen on the wall lit up. It showed a map of the Corvagian Empire with several points marked in red. Captain Ray's mission has already identified critical vulnerabilities in Corvagian defenses, Kamal explained. We now know how to reach their homeworld. Thran felt a chill. In just weeks, these humans had gone from defending their planet to planning an attack on the heart of the Corvagian Empire. Please, he said, give diplomacy a chance. Let us try to negotiate a peace. Kamal nodded. We will give you 1 month. After that, we do things our way. As Thran left the meeting, he sent an urgent message to the council. The situation is worse than we feared. Humans are not just defenders. They are warriors with a deep sense of justice, and they learn faster than any species I have ever encountered. Commander Zextrol paced the floor of his war room on the Corvagian homeworld. The large screens on the walls showed red warning lights across their empire. His officers stood nervously, afraid to speak. How? Zextrol shouted, slamming his fist on the table. How did they find our main fuel depot? How did they know the exact weak point in our defense shield? No one answered. No one needed to. They all knew that the humans had not only stolen their technology, but had also taken their military secrets. A young officer entered the room, his scales pale with fear. Sir, we have a bigger problem. Someone has hacked our public information network. What do you mean, hacked? Zextrol demanded. The officer activated a screen. It showed images being broadcast to every Corvagian home and public place across their empire. The images revealed the luxury palaces where Corvagian leaders lived while common people struggled. They showed secret documents about how the government lied about food shortages. They revealed proof that the military used slave labor from conquered worlds. Who is doing this? Zextrol demanded. The answer came as a new image appeared on the screen, a human face. It was a woman with dark skin and clever eyes, wearing the uniform of Earth's new Space Force. People of the Corvagian Empire, said the woman. I am Lieutenant Aisha Okafor of Earth. Your leaders attacked our peaceful world without warning. They told you we were primitive and weak. They lied. She continued, we have no quarrel with ordinary Corvagians. Your leaders have kept you poor while they live in luxury. They send your children to die in needless wars. We offer you a choice. Join us in removing these corrupt rulers, or stand with them and face the consequences. Across the Corvagian Empire, people began to riot in the streets. Workers stopped working. Soldiers refused orders. Meanwhile, in deep space, Captain Rice and her team made contact with other species that had been conquered by the Corvagians. The Tuleri, bird-like beings with great technical skills. The Drovans, strong warriors who had fought the Corvagians for decades. The Pempti, small but incredibly smart engineers. Join us, Captain Rice told them. Together, we can end Corvagian rule forever. One by one, the oppressed planets rose up. Corvagian military bases were overwhelmed. Supply ships were captured. Entire star systems declared their independence. Back on the Corvagian homeworld, Zextrol received the worst news yet. Sir, said his second-in-command, the Galactic Council has ordered us to cease all military operations immediately and surrender to their peacekeeping force. Zextrol's golden eyes narrowed with rage. Never. I would rather die fighting than surrender to those weak fools, or to humans. He turned to his most loyal officers. Gather every ship we have left. Every soldier still loyal to me. We will make one final attack on Earth. We will burn their world to ashes. But sir, protested an officer, that would violate every law of galactic warfare. I don't care, Zextrol shouted. Prepare the fleet. We leave immediately. As his officers hurried to obey, Zextral didn't notice that one of them quietly sent a warning message straight to Earth. Earth's defense systems detected the approaching Corvagian fleet long before it arrived. Thanks to the warning message from the Corvagian officer who had turned against Zextral, they knew exactly what was coming. In the main command center beneath the Rocky Mountains, Secretary General Kamau addressed the military leaders from around the world. "This is their final desperate attack," she said, pointing to the large screen showing hundreds of Corvagian ships approaching Earth. "Commander Zextral has gathered every ship and soldier still loyal to him. He plans to destroy our world completely." General Chen stood up. "Our planetary defenses are ready, and we're not alone this time." The screen changed to show dozens of ships appearing near Earth's orbit, ships of different designs and sizes, crewed by beings from across the galaxy. The Galactic Council had sent its peacekeeping force. The Tulari, Drovans, and Pempti had sent their warriors to fight alongside humans. Even some Corvagian ships that had rebelled against Zextral were there. "Let's end this," Kama said. When Zextral's fleet arrived, they faced not just Earth's defenses, but ships from a dozen different species. The battle began immediately. Space around Earth lit up with energy weapons and explosions. On his flagship, Zextral watched with growing horror as his forces were quickly overwhelmed. "Keep fighting," he shouted to his officers. "We will not surrender." But even as he spoke, a small, fast ship slipped through his fleet's defenses. It was the Revenge, Captain Ray's ship. Instead of attacking, it docked directly with Zextral's flagship. Alarms blared throughout the Corvagian command ship as Captain Rice and her team of human and alien warriors fought their way to the bridge. They used weapons and tactics the Corvagians had never seen before. When the bridge doors finally burst open, Zextral found himself facing Captain Rice and a team of determined fighters. "Surrender, Commander," Rice ordered, her weapon pointed at Zextral's chest. "Never," he snarled, drawing his own weapon. But before he could fire, one of his own officers stunned him from behind. The Corvagian commander fell unconscious to the floor. "We surrender," said the officer who had stunned Zextral. "Enough of our people have died for his pride." The battle ended quickly after that. Most of the Corvagian ships surrendered once they learned their commander had been captured. Later, as Zextral was led away in chains to face the justice of both Earth and the Galactic Council, he finally asked the question that had been bothering him since the beginning. "What are you?" he asked a human general who stood watching. The general, an older man with gray hair and many scars, simply replied, "We're human. We've been preparing for this day since we first looked up at the stars and wondered if we were alone." Zextral lowered his head in defeat. "The council tried to warn me. I should have listened." "Yes," the general agreed. "You chose to invade Earth. That was your first and last mistake." Across the solar system, the news spread. Earth was safe, and the Corvagian threat was over. Humanity had not only survived their first alien encounter, they had changed the balance of power in the galaxy forever. 1 month after the final battle, a large human ship approached the Galactic Council's space station. It was Earth's first official diplomatic vessel, named Unity. Built with a combination of human and alien technology, it was sleek and powerful, showing both beauty and strength in its design. Inside the Great Hall of the Galactic Council, representatives from hundreds of species filled the seats. Many stood in the aisles or crowded near the entrances. Everyone wanted to see the humans who had defeated the Corvagian Empire in just a few months, something no other species had managed to do in centuries. "The representatives from Earth," announced the council leader as the doors opened. Secretary General Kamau led the human delegation into the hall. Behind her walked military leaders, scientists, and diplomats from all parts of Earth. They wore formal clothes that represented their different cultures and regions. The hall fell silent as they walked to the center. "Honored members of the Galactic Council," Kama began, her voice strong and clear. "We come in peace, seeking friendship with all peaceful species of the galaxy. From her seat, Verity watched with great interest. The ancient Aronian had studied humans for decades, but even she had been surprised by how quickly they had adapted to their new place in the galaxy. Earth thanks the Council, and all who helped us defend our world. Kama continued. We ask to join your community of worlds as equals, to learn from you, and to share what we know. The Council leader nodded. We welcome Earth to the galactic community. Your place here is well earned. But not everyone was pleased. A tall, blue-skinned alien stood up. I must speak, he said. The humans defeated the court agents, yes. But look how quickly they did it. Look how fast they learned our technology. They are dangerous, too dangerous to be trusted so soon. Murmurs spread through the hall. Other representatives stood to agree. The humans have powerful weapons now. They think differently than us. They are unpredictable. They might become the next Corvagians. Secretary General Kamal listened calmly to these concerns. When the hall quieted, she spoke again. We understand your fears, she said. Earth was unknown to you until recently. But know this, we desire peace. We will defend ourselves and our friends without hesitation, but we do not seek war or conquest. She gestured to the humans behind her. We are teachers, healers, artists, and builders, not just warriors. We fought because we had to. We would rather create than destroy. An alien with 6 arms and a wise, wrinkled face stood slowly. I believe the humans, he said. During the war, my world was freed from Corvagian rule by human soldiers. When the fighting ended, these same soldiers helped rebuild our cities and heal our wounded. They asked for nothing in return. Others rose to share similar stories. The mood in the hall began to change. As the session ended, Verity approached Kama privately. You have made a good beginning, the old Aronian said, but some will still fear you. Kama nodded. Fear comes from not understanding. We will work to change that, one day at a time. Verity smiled. Perhaps you humans will bring something new to our ancient galaxy, not just your strength, but your hope. 1 year after Earth joined the Galactic Council, the planet had changed in amazing ways. Cities now had strange new buildings where aliens and humans worked together. The night sky was filled with lights from visiting ships. Children studied alien languages in school, and Earth's universities welcomed students from 100 different worlds. In what was once the Corvagian Empire, a new government had formed. The Galactic Federation of Free Worlds included all the planets that had been under Corvagian rule. With Earth's help, they had created a system where each world could govern itself but work together on bigger problems. On a special platform in orbit above Earth, Captain Maya Rice, now Admiral Rice, stood before her new ship. It was much larger than the Revenge and built with the best technology from Earth and its alien allies. The name Explorer was painted on its side in large letters. Admiral, the crew is ready, said her second-in-command, a tall Tulari with colorful feathers. Rice nodded. Thank you, Commander Tikari. Tell them I'll be aboard shortly. Earth's first official exploration fleet consisted of 5 large ships. Their mission was to travel deeper into the galaxy, make contact with new species, and find new knowledge. It was what humans had dreamed about for centuries. In the Great Hall of the Galactic Council, Verity sat with several other senior counselors, watching a presentation by human scientists. The humans had developed a new faster-than-light drive that was twice as efficient as anything the Council races had created. By combining our quantum mechanics theories with Tulare energy technology and Drovan materials science, we've created a drive that uses half the fuel but travels twice the distance, explained Dr. Samira Khan, the same scientist who had first reverse-engineered Corvagian shields. The alien counselors looked at each other in amazement. This breakthrough would change travel throughout the galaxy, and the humans were freely sharing it with everyone. After the presentation, Verity spoke with the council leader privately. They are dangerous, she said, looking at the human scientists as they chatted with curious aliens. You still fear them? Asked the council leader. Not fear, Verity corrected. Respect. They never stop evolving, never stop adapting. In just 1 year, they've changed more than most species do in a century. The council leader nodded slowly. What do you think they will become in a millennium? Verity smiled. I don't know, but I'm glad they value friendship as much as they excel at war. The question isn't whether humanity will transform the galaxy, it's whether we're wise enough to help guide that transformation. On Earth, in a classroom in Nairobi, a human teacher stood before a group of children. Some human, some alien. Today we're going to learn about the Battle of Earth, she said. But more importantly, we'll learn about what came after, how former enemies became friends, and how working together makes us all stronger. A small Corvagian child raised his hand. My parents say that attacking Earth was the biggest mistake our old leaders ever made. The teacher smiled kindly. Sometimes mistakes lead to good things in the end. Without that mistake, we might never have met each other. Throughout the galaxy, a new saying began to spread among spacefaring races. Make friends with humans whenever possible. Only a fool would choose to make them enemies.